Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Ark Survival Ascended, and today I'm going to be going over my final mutation project here on Val for now, and that is my Megaraptors. And I gotta admit, these may be my best work on my colors yet. I really struggled trying to come up with ideas for the coloration, but going with the purple, blue, and green for a very iridescent color, I think was a really good idea. As you can see, I do have the tamed stats, mutated stats, and mutated plus imprinted stats with my own personal Megaraptor, who's Beowulf, which, of course, is a reference to the fact that the boss Megaraptor's name is Grendel, so I figured I may as well name mine Beowulf. But anyway, we start out with our stats, and pretty good numbers with 47 in health and 50 in damage, 3,500, and 400 melee damage, a little bit higher than 400, I guess. Pretty decent. After the mutation process, though, we almost double the health at 6,400, and the melee damage at 650 is pretty nice. But after the imprinting process, it jumps all the way up to 7,700 and 780 melee, which is pretty good. And obviously, I gave him a blast of Drakeling XP, so we need to go ahead and apply some levels. I don't know how much health he's going to get per, but looks like we're going at about 400 per. So I don't want to put too much into health, but at the same time I think 15k might not be enough. Let's go all the way to 20. Alright, around 30 points, so about the same that our Deinonychus needed, and then that gives us 17 levels in the damage. I forgot to test out how much damage he did beforehand. But yeah, so I forgot to mention, but this guy has the same traits that I put on Loki, so Tenacious, Protective, Angry, Distracting, and Vampiric. And having taken my Deinonychus pack around hunting things for some of the Apex drops we need for the boss fights, I've grown to learn that Vampiric on a Deinonychus is insanely overpowered. I've really struggled to get Loki to actually take damage, so I can only imagine that on a Megaraptor, it's going to be absolutely mind-boggling. So, I'm just going to go ahead and target this Bronto to make sure it's isolated. Perfect. This is the max possible damage I'm going to be able to pull off. Oh, no. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a lot of damage. Even without the isolation, it looks like we're dealing about 1,000 per hit. Of course, that's not including the combo, which applies a bleed. And as you can see, my health is just skyrocketing. Oh, hug on. And yeah, we're gaining, like, an incredible amount of health. And, of course, the Invigoration Shield is only going to get even stronger, so... Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this thing may be a bit overpowered. Obviously, you do have to use these things solo, but fortunately, ever since they've went ahead and made the change that the isolation only applies to creatures of the same species, it does make Megaraptors a lot better as opposed to any creature around them being able to remove the isolation effect. So these things are definitely really powerful, and honestly, I like them a lot. I'm really hoping we get to use them more in the future. I'm hoping that they get added to more maps, but we'll see. I do know of a max level Giga and Karka on the map, so I might attempt to go and take those out. We'll obviously start with the Karka just to see if we can handle it. And then if I'm feeling a little bit dangerous, then I'll go for the Giga. And honestly, I might even try to solo the Broodmother with this thing. I don't really know if we're going to be able to pull that off, but we'll have to find out. But, I mean, just looking at all the damage I'm able to do to everything around here, I feel relatively confident we should be able to cut through just about whatever gets in our way. And of course, he's only going to get stronger from here on out, as I'm just going to keep putting levels in damage. I think that 20,000 health plus the good saddle that I have should hopefully be enough to keep him alive, but not exactly sure. And of course, Tenacious will kick in if I ever get too low health, and then hopefully with Angry being able to increase my damage output, Vampiric will just grow even stronger. And of course, as I need to just mention, I do have an Autumn Drakeling on my shoulders, so we do have an increase in melee damage, so if you don't have Autumn Drakeling, the numbers will obviously be different. But yeah, this thing's definitely really good at killing stuff, so I think we need to go and give it something a little bit more difficult to try and kill, but I'm first going to go ahead and try and heal him up, so I'll probably just take a bunch of stuff out around here to let Vampiric heal us up, and then we'll head over and try to take out that Karka if it's still on the map. Alright, Karka's right through those trees, so I'm just going to quickly target him with my hunting, and hopefully this works out. How much damage is he doing? About 50 per. I think I'm gonna heal more than that. Yeah, it looks like I do. I do need to remember to use the combo. Hardest part about using the combo is I always get concerned that I'm accidentally going to toss my Drakeling off my shoulder. Would be a bit concerned about going up against something with bleed. I grabbed some Trank Darts so we can go quickly knock out a Wyvern before I take on the Giga, just in case the bleed proves to be a bit too much, but we'll see. Honestly though, I mean, this thing really isn't putting up much of a fight. Yeah, basically did a total of like, what, 15 damage to me once you take away all of the healing from once you account for all the healing I did. Yeah, Vampiric on these things is definitely a little bit overpowered. I'm pretty sure I guess I don't know. Says heals for 5% damage dealt. I don't think it gets any nerf because of the drag weight. I think that honestly might be part of the point of the Megaraptor, is to have a really small creature capable of doing a lot of damage. Of course, at the downside of it has to really try and hunt alone. But if you can get Vampiric on it, then it's more than capable of dishing out a ton of damage, and that damage will go ahead and just heal you throughout anything that you really try and take on. But I want to make my way up to the Giga, but I guess I probably should switch over to a Wyvern. I guess it's not that far. We can just get there on the Megaraptor. So I'm kind of wishing that I did get this guy a little bit of extra stamina, as I feel that they use it relatively fast. I feel like they're not great at chasing things down. Of course, when you're constantly attacking things all the time to keep Vampiric working, it's not the best. And I don't know how much stamina the Pounce use. I guess I can check right here. Oh, it's only like 20. I guess that's not that bad. Normally, basic melee hits about 5, so 20 is not that bad for the Pounce. I just want to make sure I'm going the right way. A bit hard to see through all this fog. But, yeah, I'm definitely happy with how this thing turned out. Definitely a lot better at dealing damage than anything else I've made so far, at least for a single creature. I mean, the pack of Deinonychus is great, but controlling a pack is just always something that's been a bit of a nuisance in Ark. And the improvements to Dino AI that they've done, they've helped, but I mean, it's still a long ways away from being perfect, and especially because I feel that when you ride on a creature, they're faster than if the AI is driving the creature, because whenever I run around with my Deinonychus, I always find myself having to stop and wait for them, so hopefully I won't have to deal with that too often now that we have something that's meant to be used on its own in the game. I definitely do like the idea. Oh, that could have been bad. Yeah, impressed that Perlavia didn't actually hit me. Speaking of which, I just want to make sure that he's on neutral, just to be safe. That Giga should be up here. I'm still not sure if I want to go in there without Wyvern Milk, though. I mean, getting Wyvern Milk is annoying, but I think it might be worth it. Oh, no, 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 no. Do not want to offer the Giga Heart. Wait a minute, there's two of them. Okay, there's a 150 male and a 120 male. You can't take the heart from my Megaraptor's inventory, right? Don't think so. Okay, server didn't crash. I guess this gig is just particularly stupid. Oh well. I was kind of hoping for an actual fight, but it looks like I'm not going to get it. I need to go get a training dummy to see if using the combo actually does increase your damage, or if it, because of the attack speed, it's technically better to just spam the primary. But we'll definitely go ahead and fight that 150 though. I don't want this to be the only fight against a Giga that I have. So I mean, I guess if this is easy enough to replicate, I mean this is a modded Giga, so you need to be careful, is not everyone plays with Paleoarch. So I'd highly recommend it if you are looking for mods, as they make very high quality creatures that honestly feel like they should be official. Alright, well. Oh, went straight to his inventory. And I just realized my Drakeling's got a ton of experience on it, so we can go ahead and give this guy another round of that Drakeling XP. Be nice. Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting this thing to max level. I got my Drakeling to max level through all of the breeding that I've had to do, but getting my Megaraptor there would be really nice. I want to make sure that I have a lot of room to run away if I have to. I need to quickly get a kill so I can keep this, and it's gonna drain on its own anyway. Let's see, what are we dealing with here? Yeah. Just want to make sure that there's nothing around it for it to heal off of. Okay. Alright. Let it finish off that mammoth first. Alright. Alright, hopefully my damage is just going to be able to heal me more than his bleed is going to be able to take me out. So now that he's enraged, I need to be really careful. Oh. Oh, it walked right in that one. Looks like sounds like he did get a little bit of damage off in Harvest Corpse. Oh, this is hurting. I do have the stamina to get out of here if I need to, though. But I'd really like to be able to apply that bleed. There we go. I'm gonna try and bait the stomp. There we go. Come on. I'm gonna be getting stronger here, though. I'm really struggling to apply the bleed to him. Alright, I need to get out of here if I want to live. Alright, looks like max level Giga may be a little bit too much. Might be a little bit too difficult for single Megaraptor to handle. Honestly, if we were able to bypass the bleed with Wyvern Milk, I think we definitely could take him out. want to quickly check, though. Is he healed up? He is. I do want to kill him, because I do want the heart. I guess I already have the 2 I need. Well, maybe I'll come back for him later, but... Looks like Giga's not going to work, but again, I think that's mostly because of the bleed and not the physical damage being too much, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. And it is an Evo Giga, so it's got about as high of damage as you can possibly get. I do want to go ahead and max out my Drakeling's XP, but I think I'm going to swap off him for now, just so he doesn't get himself killed. I'll just quickly head over and go take out a Wyvern. Where's Loki? There he is. Honestly, I probably could attempt to take this Giga on with my entire pack of Deinonychus, but I don't know. Maybe if I had the whole pack of Deinonychus in addition to my Megaraptor, but yeah, I think bleed's just too much. There's a reason why we fear Gigas. They're terrifying, and they are not to be underestimated. But I think if I did come a little bit more prepared, I probably would have been able to take him out. And honestly, I really messed up on trying to apply my bleed to him. I was missing that constantly and got stomped a lot, so it wasn't exactly my best performance. And there's probably a little bit that could have been done better on my part, but that's okay. I do want to go ahead and try to take out the Broodmother, and again, I will make sure that I will be able to get him out of there, because I do not want to lose those traits, if at all possible, so I'll definitely be attempting to salvage them if I can, but I just want to quickly top off my Drakeling's XP to get him another round before we attempt the Broodmother, assuming she's on the map. I don't know, I haven't checked yet, so there's a chance she might not be here, and I'll have to wait for another time, but I don't know. Either way, I'm still impressed with it. I mean, it's really powerful, and I mean, sure, maybe it's not the greatest creature out there, and maybe there's a lot of other things you could use for the same goal, but honestly, I quite like them. I think that they're a really nice addition, and they look really nice too, which is always a plus. So, oh, this could be bad. If I remember correctly, though, yeah, the jump doesn't really care about this Wyvern Breath. Just need to get out of here, though. Go. Alright. Now I'll just take him out with my shotgun. Yep, that's the rock. I think this should be the last one before Drakeling hits max, so... yeah, I might need one more. This one seems pretty low level. Yeah. Well, just quickly go grab that, and then we can get to my Megaraptor. I'm not sure if I plan on mutating anything else. I definitely am going to take a break for Lost Colony, though. So, this is going to be the last mutation project for now on Val. I might end up coming back if I finish Lost Colony really early, and I feel like there's nothing left for me to do there. Because Gen 1 is the next map to come out after Lost Colony, from what I understand, I anticipate that they're going to be doing a lot of reworks for Gen 1, at least I hope they do, because Gen 1 needs a little bit more work than the rest of them do. Particularly in the balancing all the missions to be doable for a solo player, so... here we go. And only 2 levels. It's not that impressive. Alright, I'm going to go heal this guy up, and then we can go check to see if the Broodmother's around. If not, maybe I'll go ahead and get some Wyvern Milk, and then we can take on that Giga one more time. So I will be back when the Megaraptor is back at max health. Alright, there she is all the way down at the bottom. I think I'm also just going to start the fight from way up here. I might try jumping onto this first, though. Then let's quickly take out this Onyx. There we go. Alright. Hopefully this works. Oh my goodness. Oh, shoot. Um, well, that's a little bit awkward. Um, I didn't know she could do that. Well then, well, fortunately, my Megaraptor's okay. But, let's see, do I have something in here that I can use to get back? Oh yeah, of course. Um, yeah, that's not ideal. Um, huh. Hopefully he's gonna be okay on his own in there for a little bit. Honestly, I'm more concerned about my Drakeling. I'd really rather not lose that, but I guess if it happens, then what am I gonna do? I'll just quickly head back on Sapphire and we'll be able to make it there in time. Seeing how much damage that Pounce did, what was that, like, almost, it was a bit over 5,000? I honestly feel that we could probably take her out pretty easily. But, of course, I need to get back there, and I'm not really sure if that's gonna happen. Let's see. I also don't know how I'm gonna be able to get my stuff back. Because that's all just gonna be sitting on the ground, and if she's able to damage me while I'm on the back, then that's gonna be a problem. Okay. I'm going to have them follow. I'm going to hit passive, and my Drakeling will be able to make it over here on his own. Yeah, there we go. Okay, got him. Problem is now I need to get Beowulf. Watch out for that. That way I'll try and take the aggro for now. Of course that didn't work. Second, quickly grab my stuff. There we go. Here. I'll just try it like this. That'll work. Okay, apparently I need to be a little bit more careful. I didn't know that she could damage you while you were on the back of a mount. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Hold on. Yeah, it did say it was killed by the broodmother, so we'll quickly go ahead and pull him back out, and this time I'll try and be a little bit more careful. Let's see. Ugh. He's not doing so well. I think we'll be okay, though. Just gotta be really careful. This ought to work. Just stay up here, and I think she can't hit me. Yeah. Definitely doesn't help, though, that she applies the web status effect, but let's see. Shouldn't take too long to take her down, especially if I'm gonna be stuck like this again. Oh, need to be careful. Let's get down here. Avoid that. I'm not able to avoid the webs. And try and read her a little bit better. Just make sure to keep that bleed applied. We're webbing. So you need to watch her do the venom again. You need to learn exactly what she does when she goes to do that. I'd also hope I could get out, but doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Well, I mean, this definitely is working. Come on. Almost there. Gotta be getting low. There we go. Alright, and we were able to leech enough health off her to head back to max. I don't know what level she was. Actually, I can probably check the log. Level 95, so not a pushover, but nothing too crazy either. And we can just drop that. And get rid of that. So, yeah. I don't know about how much damage she would have been dealing at that point, but we were able to heal back most of it, but we also kind of were able to just cheat by sitting on top of her so she couldn't really hit me, so I don't know, a bit hard to gauge on if we could have been able to handle that. I really didn't know that her projectiles could hit the survivor on a mount. That's new info for me, so that'll be helpful to know for later on. Oh, what's that? It's Carno. Saw the glow on those rocks over there and thought that there was an Alpha Carno, but just a normal Carno. But yeah, let's see, this one's not, haven't been that long, but honestly, I feel like that's just about everything that I have. I mean, I guess I'd go through the caves just to go ahead and test it out, but honestly, I feel that I've proven this thing more than enough. I mean, we were able to handle the Bird Mother and Akarka, and we would have been able to handle that Giga, but due to me not exactly being the best at driving and also not preparing to handle bleed, we weren't able to kill it, but I think that if we had Wyvern Milk, we'd be able to pull it off. I might end up doing that later, but right now, I think we just need to head home and then get a taxidermy, and then we can put him in the trophy room and then call this one to an end. Alright, back home. Head up to the trophy room. Final taxidermy, and I did go ahead and center these as best as I can. Unfortunately, they weren't able to snap, so I had to just use a ladder to try and place them as best as I could, but I don't know. I think that it looks good enough. And we can go ahead and finally get our Megaraptor put in here. Just pick him back up. And put him down on the taxidermy bench. And where is it? There we go. Just get rid of that base. And unfortunately, tail's sticking through the wall, so hopefully I can find a pose where that's not going to be as much of an issue. Looks like the level up animation. That's normal attacking. That's the jump. Tail's still sticking through. Really hoping that we could get one with him. Oh yeah, there we go. I'd like it if I could mirror that. I think that's still inside, but yeah, I think we'll go for that. Honestly, at that point, I might actually go ahead and realign it to this wall right here, actually. Might go ahead and put it there since the base is, since he takes up so much space, so here, I can quickly just go ahead and make a, I think I'll need a pillar and a ladder would be the best way of handling this. Oh, I forgot there's thatch pillars. Still not used to that, then. Yeah, it's a weird bug. I don't know if anyone else has been having that issue, but I certainly have. Where when you go to try and take out something that you've searched, it'll go ahead and only take out the most recent letter, and then it just won't do the rest of them. So simply just pick these up, pull out the base, make it large, disable the snapping, and I should just have to back up enough until it shows up. And there we go. Alright, perfect. And I think that should be the right way around, correct? Yep. So I should just be able to do that, and there we go. Alright, so we got the Deinonychus and the Elder Claw on one side and the Megaraptor on the other, and I think it looks pretty good. Now all we need to do is just add Grendel over here with the two banners, and then we'll be done. We'll have everything in our trophy room. This is... Every time I look at this thing, it just looks so cool. It was really annoying to try and find colors that worked because the two of the color regions mesh together. They blend together, I guess is probably the better word to use, a lot. So the purple and blue really struggled. They're one of the only combinations I found that actually looked good. The rest of it just didn't really work, but I think that turned out really nice, and honestly, having used this thing, I think it's really powerful, and it's honestly been really fun, and I'm hoping that we can go ahead and use these things more in the future. I hope that they add them to other maps. I think that they could be a really good creature for caving. Just they do excel in killing things like alphas, things that are normally on their own, but definitely good for using caves if you don't want to have to deal with bringing a bunch of other creatures with you. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this one. I think we're ready to wrap it up. So all we really have left to do is to go and take on Grendel. I've pretty much wrapped up everything else that I want to do here. I have all 3 of my mutation projects done. The base is, I mean, it's not the best, but I feel it's pretty nice, and I really don't think there's much else that I have planned to do. I think it's really just to fight Grendel, and then I'll be on hiatus until Lost Colony comes out, so next one will be the Grendel fight, and hopefully that can be relatively soon, but we'll see how much XP the Elder Claws have gotten. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This is terrible lighting. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, farewell.